2020 predictions. A little bit of housekeeping. So I've been doing this for over a year. I suddenly realized I did a 2019 predictions around the same time last year. So it's a little staggering for me to think I've been recording videos fairly regularly. I know I took a little break in the middle of last year, but fairly regularly for over a year. That's a little bit overwhelming for me. There is a podcast for those of you who have been watching, technologyleaders.co.nz. If you go to the podcast, there's a link through. There's an RSS feed. You can go through that. There will be a 2020s prediction where I'll go more in depth into some of the stuff I'm going to talk about today in the podcast here in a week or two. So check that out if you get a chance. On to the predictions. So 2020, I'm going to take a stand here and say that we're now in the 20s. The Twitterverse is all a Twitter with the 20s start in 2020, or do they start in 2021? And I'm taking a stand. I'm going to say the 2020s start now. I go in depth into various prediction websites that I went through in articles and blog posts. But needless to say, most of the predictions sound pretty much similar to the ones they sounded last year. So I'm going to, and I go into more depth into this into the podcast, I'm going to go at it slightly different direction. So this year I think we're going to see business adoption of augmented reality, virtual reality, and extended reality. So CES is just wrapped up. And we saw a massive amount of VR, we saw a massive amount of extended reality, and business adoption of that is coming. 5G this year, it's going to roll out. The cellular carriers are going to provide it. People are going to buy end devices, but they're not going to get the benefit. In fact, in my opinion, most countries around the world won't see true 5G benefits for at least the next 3 years. AI and machine learning. This year, we're going to see enterprise business adoption. So you can now get it as a subscription service. So more and more organizations who are now fully transformed into the cloud or are using cloud services are going to start using artificial intelligence and machine learning as part of their program. So it's not just going to be here's an AI project that we're doing. It's going to be, here's a business transformation project we're doing, and oh, by the way, it has AI services in it. Deep learning, and especially deep fakes, are going to become prevalent in the world this year. That's the bad side of it. The good side of it is that we're going to start getting answers out of deep learning that we haven't had before, and digital humans are going to become mainstream. Touching on cloud and digital transformation, the reality is that most of the multinational businesses and most of the large enterprise businesses are now either digitally transformed and there's nothing but outliers or that 20% that's difficult to do, and or they're converged onto the cloud, whether it be a single cloud or a multi-cloud strategy. They have progressed to cloud. So this year, what we're going to start seeing is disruptions of those enterprises that haven't either done digital transformation or cloud migration. In the US, if you look to what Walmart's doing to try and play catch up with Amazon, it's a perfect example for a business. Quantum computing. There's going to be a lot of advancements in quantum computing this year, but for the most part, business adoption of quantum computing is still a couple years out. You will see some outliers and some corner cases. Blockchain. There are a lot of really good use cases for blockchain, and this year we will see some business adoption of blockchain in the enterprise level, similar to AI and machine learning, where blockchain will just be part of the projects that they're doing. But blockchain has a PR problem. The problem is that everybody associates it with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. In fact, I just recently saw a company that was putting out a blockchain, and the way that they had decided that they were going to fund the development of the blockchain was by selling cryptocurrency on that blockchain. until we can get over the hype of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and see blockchain for the use cases that it can solve, blockchain is going to continue to have problems. IoT. IoT will continue to grow and grow and grow in the business side, but it's not going to exponentially grow until 5G and Wi-Fi 6 reach market saturation. In the next 3 years, we're going to see Wi-Fi 6 and 5G reach that saturation, and then IoT is going to explode. The reality is that bandwidth and power consumption of IoT devices, we're going to need those solutions for bandwidth on the wireless and cellular. On the battery consumption, a really big announcement, Chemical and Material Sciences at the end of last year by IBM, and a sustainable non-cobalt based rechargeable battery. This year, I think we're going to see substantial changes in chemical and material sciences going forward. There are a whole bunch of big things happening in physics and mathematics, but again, from a business perspective, they don't have much impact on the business this year. By the end of this decade, I think we're going to see significant changes. Watch for healthcare changes. So changes in business to do with healthcare. Healthcare is the one place where IoT is going to start exploding. It has been for the last 2 years. 3D printing. 3D printing at scale for large organizations like manufacturing organizations is happening right now. But 3D printing at the retail layer has not fully commoditized yet. So expect that to still gradually begin growing up. I think that covers everything. Check out the podcast. There's a really good interview with Kevin Johnson. I'm hoping to have a really good interview with Jake Davis here real quick. And continue following me. I appreciate all the feedback. I've got some really good feedback, and I really do appreciate it, even if it's just to tell me, keep doing what I'm doing. If I can be any help, just reach out to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.